Howdy! Welcome to our Canvas orientation training presented by the Office for Academic Innovation. My name is Isabel Elizalde Alaman, and I'm happy to bring you this wonderful training that we've created for y'all. This is our first really eye-opening experience and use of Canvas itself. We're really going to go deep into some of those navigation features and those account settings, kind of highlight some features between Canvas and our current LMS, eCampus, just to get yourselves acquainted with some things. And then ultimately at the end, you will get a chance to really set up your account profile, look at some other things as well. As a little caveat, this training is mainly geared to those that have access to Canvas, so because you will be accessing Canvas as well throughout this session. If you don't have access to Canvas, you're welcome just to watch along and kind of rewatch this whenever you do get access to Canvas. So first, I'm going to go through the lay of the land of what I'm going to be doing with this presentation today. I have a PowerPoint presentation that I have shared on my screen right now, but I will be going between this PowerPoint and actual Canvas. So at any point, if it's a little bit too confusing or daunting, please let me know, and I'm happy to kind of rewind and re-say what I said. Okay, so let's get started with our Canvas orientation training. So a little bit of housekeeping. If you could please ask any questions that you may have in the chat so that we can answer them for you. Depending on the week, we may have office hours as well. So please, if you have any questions within this training, please come to our office hours and ask your questions to us. We're happy to help you kind of get that one-on-one experience, kind of sit down virtually with a Canvas expert. So if you can write down your questions, you can write them down in the chat via Zoom, or you can wait to the very end of the session to ask them. So I'm going to go ahead and first things first, what I would like to do at the very beginning of this training is, since I did mention earlier that we will be going a lot between Canvas and this presentation, but you will be doing things in Canvas if you chose to do so. If you can log into Canvas, I'm going to go ahead and show you what that looks like. The website that you will go to is LMS.TAMU.EDU. On this website, on the top right-hand corner, so right here, this button, I'm going to turn on my spotlight right here, this button. You'd click that button and then log in normally like you do with your TAMU and NetID and password. So you click that and log in. I'm already logged in, so I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to give you guys a quick second or two to do that as I'm talking through this website. So you can go ahead and navigate and log in, but this website that we've created for y'all, LMS.TAMU.EDU, is going to be the new resource that we have created focused on the new learning management system, which is Canvas. Here we have a lot of different information and resources that we've provided for you based on the how to make a move to Canvas. So we have some information on if you are currently using Blackboard and want to know how that translates to Canvas. That's going to be in here. Catching the wave, really getting started with Canvas and catching on that Canvas wave that we have going on of what can you do right now to get started with it. Tools, this is going to be the information that we have, like the tools that are currently integrated into Canvas, as well as any future tools that we might have on the roadmap to integrate into Canvas. This is the new home of our Keep Teaching and Keep Learning sites as well. So these were the things we delivered during the pandemic of COVID-19. So this is the new home for them. And then last but not least, I'm more than sure you've already accessed this part before, since you have joined this training, but our training and support, where you can find all of the training and support opportunities that the Office for Academic Innovation is providing for y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and let's go back to this presentation. Hopefully you all had the chance to log in while I rambled about this amazing website. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next part. So this is that website again. So those big three pieces of it that we really recommend going to are going to be preparing for the move to Canvas, engaging with Zoom, and then training, learning more about what we have to offer. So this session, by the end of this session, you as the participant will be able to identify some key features of Canvas to incorporate into your course design, navigate the global and course navigation of Canvas, and then ultimately, if you have access to Canvas, hopefully by the end of this training, you'll be able to set up your Canvas account settings and notification preferences. Okay. So as an overview of this session, like I mentioned earlier, we will introduce some of those key features that we would love for you to integrate into your teaching. And then these are going to be, think of these as like a teaser or a trailer of what's to come that you can do in Canvas. And then we also give a brief overview of Canvas itself and what you can do with it. I'm going to go ahead and first things first, before we really get into Canvas, we here at the Office for Academic Innovation have identified 5 key features that we personally love. And the reason why we love them is because of the engagement that you can really do to up your game with your students in your online courses. So the 5 features that we have is the first one we have Speed Grader. Speed Grader is something that only Canvas has that has the ability for you to literally speed grade through your any type of evaluation of student work. So if you have any submissions that you receive online from your students, you can directly annotate over their documents. You can use the rubric to send them feedback on how they performed. And then you can also embed rich media such as videos, audio, anything like that that you would like to do to give them some feedback that they can really rely on. So that is going to be the speed grader. Communication tools. We highly can't emphasize this enough. We highly recommend that you use all the communication tools in Canvas as your one-stop shop for any course communication. Communication tools in Canvas include stuff like announcements, email, discussions, even Zoom is integrated into Canvas. There's all of that information can be stored there so that students access Canvas to get everything up-to-date information on their course and then go about what they need to do for the rest of it. They don't have to remember they need to go there, here for this, and here for another thing. So keeping everything together in Canvas is the recommended way to go about that, and Canvas does a good way of holding it all together. Next, we have the rich content editor. So the rich content editor is something in Canvas that's very specific to Canvas as well, that you have the ability to embed rich content. What does that look like? Well, Canvas easily gives you the opportunity to embed videos, links, documents, all this other really good things that you can give to your students as that engaging content, but with a click of a button. So we really recommend, we will be talking about this specific feature in literally every single training we will give from here on out. So we highly recommend you really take a look at this one when you get the chance. The next one is the Canvas gradebook. We love the Canvas gradebook because it does the automatic calculation of grading for us. So it will automatically calculate your the student's final grade based on the course grading policy that you have. So if you have weights in your course, you can easily put that into Canvas. Other things that you can do that's really cool to Canvas specifically is the ability to have a late grading policy. So that means you can set that if a student turns in a paper past a due date or does not submit something, it will automatically give them a grade based on that grading criteria. Also, it will automatically post grades for you by certain dates with a grade posting policy. So many different posting policies that you can include embedded into Canvas that will automatically help you with your grading. So we highly recommend taking a look at that. And last but not least, one of the most important ones that we love is the student retention reporting abilities in Canvas. We have a lot of different analytics tools that are currently integrated and will be integrated into Canvas in the future that allow us to really get a pulse of our students and try to see the progress of where they are right now. So we really recommend using all 5 of these features. There are so many other features that you can use as well that are included in Canvas, but these are the ones that are really going to, like I said earlier, up your game up in your Canvas course design. So let's go into the first thing. So first things first, let's go into the navigation of Canvas. So the first thing you're going to see when you log into Canvas is going to be called your dashboard. And at this point forward, I'm going to be moving a lot between Canvas and this presentation. But after I've logged into Canvas, this is what happens whenever I log into Canvas. The very first thing that shows up. So this is going to be what we call the Canvas dashboard, right? The Canvas dashboard is really split up into 3 main areas, 2 that are specific to the dashboard and 1 specific to Canvas itself. So in this main center area, so I'm circling it right here with Form U, is this area called the card view of your courses, right? So each card, so each little square that I have is going to be indicative of a different course. So right now, I have 3 courses that I have on my dashboard, right? So what this means is that I can then enter each one of my courses by clicking on this card itself. So each individual card, I can click on it and it takes me into my courses. We're going to get more into this card view in a little bit, but on the right-hand side here, we have this to-do area. And I really want to highlight this to-do area because it's different from every person. All right, so this to-do area, like I mentioned a little while ago, is going to be different from person to person, right? Depending on what you have to do in your courses, you will have this populated for you. So for me, in my instance, I have a teacher in a course, and everything that shows up right here on this to-do area is what I have to do for my course I'm a teacher in. It will tell me that I have to grade specific things. So that tells me how many submissions I have to grade, how many assignments I have to grade, and then it gives me a quick link to do that, right? I have the ability to quickly click into this, and it takes me to the area to do the action that's to do, right? As a student, I would see anything that needs my attention to complete, right? So it will tell me submit or complete or whatever it is that I needed to do for that course, right? And that will show up right here. The way you get it to show up on this right-hand side for students is to add a due date. So we highly recommend for you to add due dates to all of your assessments and assignments in your course so that students can get this easy way to kind of view what they need to do in your course. That's the right-hand side of this area, this to-do module. Below that, you have coming up, so anything that needs your attention in the future. And then other than that, if you're a student and you have received feedback or grades, you will see that immediately below this to-do area as well. So that's this to-do module, but then now let's go back to this card area. So something I want to highlight is that in Canvas, if you ever see 3 vertical dots, so they're going to be these dots right here, 3 vertical dots all around Canvas, you see them. That means that it has the ability to modify. I have the ability to modify something in this area, right? So I'm going to go ahead and click these 3 dots on the top right here. And then it allows me to change my view. So by default, I have the card view, but I can switch this card view into a different view. So I can change it to list view. So list view is going to show me a list of all the things that I need to do. So this is a list of all my to-do list. And go back here and then check my recent activity. This will categorize all the different activity that has happened in my course. So that's something to keep as well. So depending on how you prefer to keep this, it's all up to you. But I personally prefer the card view just because it's easier to remember each card of courses. So to give you a little bit of a identification of this card itself, so on the card, you're going to see a course image, the 3 dots again. You're going to see the name of the course and then some other identifiable information. If I had any things that required my attention as a student, so for here, for example, I have some discussions that require my attention, I would be able to go into this course and that would tell me that there's something that requires my attention as well for these courses. So that is something to note within these cards as well. Other things to note is that there's a lot of different areas in Canvas that have this ability and feature. You have the ability to move things in Canvas using a click and drag, the drag and drop feature. The way to do that is, for example, I can click on this and drag it, and I can rearrange my courses however I see fit. So maybe I want to arrange them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday in order of that, or maybe I want to arrange them in order of the one that I need to do the most attention with that requires due dates that happen first. However I want to arrange that, I can do that on my dashboard by just clicking and dragging and rearranging them, right? So that's something that you could do as well. There are other things you can do within your dashboard. With your images, you can click on these 3 dots and you can either give it a color or you can move it if you were not able to drag and drop. But that's just a little bit different features for you. So I'm just going to rearrange the courses the way I need them to be. And so that's the dashboard. So that third area that I talked about earlier is something that's going to be within your Canvas courses, your Canvas area no matter where you are in Canvas. This is what's called the Canvas global navigation. So right here on this left-hand side is going to be where you see the account, dashboard, courses, calendar, inbox, comments, and help. This is going to be what we call stickied. So it's going to be stickied no matter where you are in Canvas. So for example, let's pretend I'm in one of my courses. I enter the course, it's still there. It's going to be there no matter where I am in Canvas. So it will highlight the different area that I am for that point of my area. So you can access this at any point and anywhere when you're in Canvas. Very easy to do in that Canvas global navigation. So I'm going to go back to the dashboard just for a little bit, and then we're going to get into these other things in a while. So the first thing I want, this is going to be part of your first activity that I'm going to ask y'all to do in a little bit. And what Canvas has the ability to do is the ability to update your profile, a few of your profile settings. And we're going to go into those profile settings and notifications as well in a bit. But the way to access this is you're going to click on Account, and then you're going to click on Settings. So here I am in my account settings. There are a few things that you can change, a few things that you can't change, but I'm going to go into some things that we recommend reviewing and changing for you as you get along. So what I recommend for you to do is on this right-hand side under Ways to Contact, we're going to edit this area first. So Canvas has the ability to add multiple ways of contacting you. You're going to set up in a little bit the notifications that you want to receive and how you want to receive them. And the way you can choose the emails that happens is by default, your @TAMU.EDU account is going to be the one that's included. But let's say you have another account. So you have like an @physics.tamu.edu or @maysbusiness.tamu.edu. Whatever that personal or departmental or college account is that you prefer to use instead because you get all your email through there, you can add that under email address. So we're going to go ahead and click on this area. And then from there, you can add that email address to here. You can register your email. I recommend that if you do have that alternate email to go ahead and add that here. Other than that, what else you can do is you can upload your profile picture. We highly recommend for everyone to upload a profile picture to their account. What this means is that it allows for the chance to you to humanize yourself, because if not, it's going to look like that avatar of a person. Instead, we would really recommend to have a face to tag to that name, so that when students come to your office hours or come to your sessions, you recognize them and they recognize you, right? So we recommend telling your students as well to update their profile pictures too. This is just something that will help out in the long run for kind of gaining that deeper connection. So the way to do that is right here, I already have uploaded my own picture, but I'm going to go ahead and hover over this icon, and it automatically has this pencil icon that appears over it. I can click on that area. And from here, I can click to either choose a picture. So I can choose a picture for students. So if I already have a headshot, a personal headshot, or maybe a really good selfie of myself, I can include that here by clicking on choose a picture, and it will open up my the ability to browse my computer. Other than that, I can choose take a picture, and what that will do is it will turn on my webcam if I have one and allow me to immediately take a photo. So I'm going to go ahead, and I already have my photo, but this is what you're going to do in a little while. You're going to go ahead and cancel. From there, you already uploaded your photo. Next thing I want to do is go to this edit settings area. I'm going to click on this edit settings on the right hand side. And then I have only two options that I can change for this, but I can change my language. And then depending on me and my personal preferences, I can change my time zone. So now that we're in this time that we're having a lot more online classes and a lot of more digital learning, there may be the chance and opportunity for people to be in different places all over the world to be taking our classes. So depending on their individual preferences and where they are, they may need to change the time for their own profile to be specific to a time zone. The way they would do that is they would click on this drop down under the time zone and select their appropriate time zone. What this means is that me as a teacher in Central Standard Time, I will put all of my due dates to be at 11:59, for example, but my students in Colorado will see this, the due date specific to their time zone. So it kind of adjusts it based on their time zone. And that is something we highly recommend using in your courses as well if you have any students that are at a distance. So after you have done that and selected your language and your time zone, you would click on Update Settings. So I'm going to just click on Update Settings for now, and that is it. So those are the three things that I want to go through just to review what we did. We went to the email address and we updated that. We also clicked on the Edit Settings to edit this area for the language and the time zone, and we also updated a profile picture. So I'm going to go ahead and we did that. We set up a profile, we verified, updated. The next thing I'm going to go through is the last thing you're going to do in this activity is going to be the notifications. So earlier I mentioned this ability to add different email addresses, and just keep that in mind. That's what we're going to do for this next part, is kind of change our notification preferences. So the way to do that is on this left-hand side, I'm going to click on the notifications. Okay, so Canvas has the ability to let you choose and keep at your own control the notifications and how you receive them. You will only have to do this once. This is a global setting that you change for your entire account. You don't have to change it per course. This is for every single course. So the other thing that we do say is that students have the ability to do this themselves as well. So we recommend as well telling your students to change this for the first time they ever get into Canvas, to make sure they have the correct notification preferences. So there's 4 different notification preference settings. You can choose to be notified right away about something. You can get a daily summary. You can request a weekly summary, and then you can request don't send me anything at all. Those are the 4 different icons: are a check mark, a clock, a little calendar, and then an X. The way you would choose what notification preference method you want is you would click on, so let's say, for example, due dates. I've said that I want this to show up to me immediately, but let's say, let's find something. So let's late grading. I want to be notified right away that I have late grading, right? That I haven't done my grading. Let me know, right? So the way I would do that is I'd click on the check mark that signifies notify me right away, and it will let me know that I have some grading to do. I would then go through all of these and kind of make sure I have the correct settings set up appropriately for that notification. If I had a second email address that I added in that settings area, it would show up as an additional column at this point right here, and then I can choose and pick which email address I want to be sent to. So it will send an email to that email inbox, and then I can decide how I want to act. And that email that gets sent to you typically will have a click here to access this, and then it will send you directly into Canvas. So that's just something to keep in mind as well. So setting up notifications. At this time, what I want you to do is I want you to take a quick break, try to upload a profile picture, verify, update your email address, setting up your notifications. Try to do this. I'm going to give y'all a quick few seconds to do this. And then we're going to get right back into the next part of this. The way I'm going to know whether or not y'all are ready to move on. I won't know. So I'm just going to give you all a quick few seconds here, and then we're going to go ahead and get started with the next part of this training. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this for a little bit, and then we'll return back. Welcome back. Thank you so much for being able to get through that activity. If you have any questions with any of this activity that we went through, please either come to our office hours at the end of, so from 2 to 4 Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday, or email us at aihelp@tamu.edu. We're going to move on to this next part. Okay. So the next part we're going to go into is going to be the courses area. So we're going to kind of go down this Canvas global navigation for now. We went through account, we went through dashboard. Now let's go to courses. I'm going to go ahead and click on courses. And this is a quick way for you to jump between courses when you're in a course. So easily I can choose any of these 3 courses here and just enter into it, click on this courses link again, enter into another course. Very quick, easy way to get around in Canvas. What I want to show you now though is this all courses area. So these are the 3 courses that I'm currently enrolled in, but let's go to this all courses area. And those aren't the only 3 courses that I'm currently in right now. Those are just the only courses that either I am a teacher in or have been made available to me. So what that means is I can go to this all courses area, and in eCampus, if you're familiar with this ability to show and hide courses, we tend to do this at the beginning or at the end of the semester to hide courses that we're no longer teaching or in that semester and kind of make way for the new courses. This is the same way you would do that. In Canvas, what you're going to do is on this far left-hand corner, there's the star icon, and the star icon will give you the ability to favorite a course. The way you favorite a course is you can click on it, and it will then be favorited, and then now it would show up on your dashboard. I can unclick it to not show it onto my course, onto my dashboard. So that's just something to keep in mind. Other information you can gather from here is you'll see the course name. You can give the course a nickname. You can do that from your dashboard. You can see the term that this course is offered, and you can see where you are enrolled in this course as. So depending on your role, it may change and differ for each course. So if I'm enrolled in, as a student in these courses, I'm enrolled as a teacher is this one, and I'm enrolled in a student in this one as well. It'll also give me a quick glance to know whether or not this course is published. Published is a term that Canvas uses to mean available to students. So you would know, so anywhere you see the word published or unpublished, think of it as available to students or not available to students. So that's just something to keep in mind as well for this. So as a student, I can see that I'm enrolled in these 2 courses, but they're not published yet, so I would wait until my instructor publishes them for me to gain access to it, because I can't click into them. But I can click into any of the other courses that I have available to me. So that's just something to keep in mind within this all courses area. Next, so I'm just going to demonstrate really quickly that quick navigation in between courses. So for example, I'm going to go into one of my courses, my Growing with Canvas course. And if you haven't already, I highly recommend, this is my time to pitch this course, is to go through our Growing with Canvas self-paced training course as it is a resource that will help you. By the end of the training, you will know everything you need to know about Canvas. You will learn about setting up and managing your course as well throughout this process. So we recommend going through this course as well. But let's say I'm in the middle of my course, I go into my grades, I do some modules, I do some other stuff. From there, I can easily click in this courses area, and then go into my next course. And see, easily I can just switch between all of these courses. Just gonna go through all of my courses from this Canvas Global Navigation menu. So that's something to keep in mind as well. We're gonna go into the Canvas course navigation later on in this session. But next I wanna go into is the calendar. So remember in the beginning of this session when I was talking about those features we love and we really want to be able to keep those communication tools really embedded into Canvas and use them as a one-stop shop? Well, this is one of those communication tools we highly recommend integrating into your courses. So I also mentioned earlier the importance of adding due dates to your assignments. So if you add due dates to your assignments, they will then show up to students to do area in this calendar as well. So I would then see depending on the way I want to see it, a calendar view of the assignments that I need to submit. Also the ones that I would probably need to grade. So that would all show up here as well. By default, I have the ability to see them by a month view, but I can change this view if I would like. I can change it by going to week. And I would see my add a week view or agenda. I can see it in an agenda view. So depending on my own personal preference, I can choose that. For now, I'm going to show you the month view. But another really cool thing about Canvas, and this is going to be embedded in almost everywhere of Canvas, is this plus icon, right? The plus button. It's going to be a plus area. It's going to be almost embedded in everywhere you see Canvas where you can add something. So in this instance, this is where you can create events specifically to Canvas that you want to include in here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that just to show you what that looks like. And so I just added a different event so that I could schedule it onto my calendar. By default, it is going to be placed on your personal calendar. So your personal Canvas calendar, this is where it's going to be placed on by default. You can change that and place it onto different courses if you like by clicking on this drop down and selecting the appropriate course. But I want this to be a personal reminder to myself so I can keep myself and my time management organized all together. And then I would click on submit. But before I leave this area, I kind of want to give you all a teaser to something. And we talk about this more in our communication tools training. But this ability to add appointment groups, I'm going to go ahead and click on this tab. And what you have here is the ability to create appointment slots for your students. So you would do that from the calendar itself. So that's just something to keep as a reminder. This is something that's very commonly used for like office hours or signing up to meet with me to talk about your final exam or giving an oral exam, whatever that might look like. So just start thinking about those things you want to include into your course now, and you can use them easily within Canvas. So I'm going to go back to this event. I'm going to click on submit. And it added it to my calendar for today. I mentioned earlier the ability that Canvas has to just drag and drop, and almost anywhere you see the ability to do that. So I can actually click on this area and drag it and drop it to a new area, and it automatically updates on my calendar. This is the same thing that would happen that if I were to have due dates. So this calendar event will be tied to an assignment, and it would be attached to a due date. If I needed to give an extension, I can just click and drag and move that extension instead of having to go in, manually change something, and kind of update it after the fact. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Each of these events will be color-coded based on the course themselves. So the color coding is going to show up on this right-hand side under the calendars area. If I needed to change some of these colors, so for example, some of these colors to me are a little bit similar, I can do that by clicking on these 3 vertical dots and changing the color. And there you go. I can change the color appropriately. And it will show up and reflect all of the events that are tied to that course right here. So that's just something to keep in mind as well. But that is the calendar. Next, we're going to go into the inbox. So one thing that's really cool about the inbox in Canvas is you have the ability to retain all the messages sent from Canvas in here. What this will do is, depending on the notification preferences you set, you can send all of your email related to course-related activities in here. It will send a copy to a student's email inbox, either through Canvas or their own personal email inbox, depending on their notification settings, and vice versa, vice versa. So you can definitely keep all your course communication together in a notified way. And the other thing that's really cool is that it will also notify students if they use the Canvas app. So they can easily use that as well too. So that's just something to keep in mind as well. But you can keep all of your course communication here. You can retain all that here so that you don't have to worry about going back into your email account and looking for that email you sent to that one student. Instead, it'll be all sent and saved here in this area. So we're going to go into this more in our future sessions of communication tools. Please look out for that one and attend it if you have the chance. But you have the ability to send email. I'm just going to really quickly show you from a specific course, and you can click into this area, choose who you want to send this to. So if I want to send it to all my teachers, if I had groups, I can send it to groups. I can send it however I see fit. I can put a subject, I can put a body, and I can also attach media here as well. And then I click on send. So I'm going to go ahead, and that's that part. But that's going to be how the Canvas inbox works. Next, we won't go into this one a lot. At this session, we will go into it into future sessions, but Canvas has Canvas Commons. Think of this as like a shared learning object repository, an LOR, where you can share learning objects like assignments, documents, courses. For any questions on this, please come to our office hours or ask us in our service desk, and we're happy to answer those questions for you. And then ultimately, last but not least, we have this help sticky that students can get help from literally anywhere. So let's say they're in the middle of an exam or in the middle of an assignment, they can click this help area and then can click ask your instructor, and they can really quickly just select this is a question about this, and I can send a message to my instructor, and I will be notified as the instructor of the message the students would like me to know. Very quick and easy way to send a message. That's just one thing. There are other help resources that we have here as well that we recommend looking into as you see fit. So we went through the calendar, we went through the inbox. So now at this time, while you're here at home, I want you to go over just a few things that we did. So I asked you earlier, I went through how to access your courses list. So just as a refresher, access your courses list, go to all courses, and then just go ahead if you have any courses. If you don't have any courses, it's fine. Click and uncheck, see what happens when you click and uncheck them and go back to your dashboard at that point. And then access the calendar and try adding an event onto your personal calendar, maybe even try dragging and dropping it to see how that functionality works as well. So we're going to go ahead and take a brief pause, and then we're going to return after this. All right, welcome back. Let's jump into this next part of our training. So the next part of our training, we're going to go over how to navigate the course navigation of Canvas. I'm going to be switching between two things at this point in Canvas itself. I'm going to be showing you a blank course, and I'm also going to be showing you a fully built designed course so that you can see the features in action, so to speak. So I'm going to go into Canvas now. And from here, I'm going to be, I'm going to open up two of those courses like I mentioned. There's that course, and then here's this course. So a blank course, so if there's nothing in this course at all, completely blank, empty course, this is what it's going to look like. On this left-hand side of, right next to the global navigation, but the left-hand side right under that is going to be what we call the course navigation. So this is something kind of similar to Blackboard in the sense that you have a course navigation menu on the left-hand side. But the only other caveat is that you cannot rename any of these areas like you can in Blackboard. You can't add any new areas like you can in Blackboard as well. What you see on this course navigation is what it is, and the reason for that is it's actually student-centered in thinking this way. The reason why we recommend to have a very consistent naming scheme that Canvas allows us to do is that it gives the students an opportunity to have a consistent navigation across courses, so that they're not confused from one course to another of how do I access this, how do I access this in this other course. It's all consistent, it's all streamlined for them, and it's made the best way possible to ensure they succeed, because that's our ultimate goal. So ultimately, this Canvas course navigation is going to be done for them by default. You can modify a few things, so if you have some tools that you do or don't use, you can add those to the left-hand navigation as you see fit. But for the most part, it's going to be this structure. And so our recommendation is that all content is going to be delivered from the modules area. So this is the modules area on the bottom right here. That's going to be where you build out all the content. Any of the other areas that would relate to content, so discussions, assignments, pages, files, outcomes, rubrics, quizzes, collaborations, any of those things, we recommend to have turned off, so we limit any points of entry for students to get confused with content. So you can have one streamlined area for content, that's going to be the modules area. We go into this in detail in further training, so that this is particular to the course navigation, right? So you have announcements, all this other things that are automatically included in your course navigation. And then on this course navigation, you also have these eye icons, like literally an eyeball. Eyeball with a line through it. And if you hover over there, it tells you why is there an eyeball icon? And the reason for this particular case is there's no content in it. As soon as I start adding content to it, it will then become visible to my students. We're not going to show a blank area to my students, right? So that's going to be the left-hand side. In the middle, this is where students will actually see the content, right? They will see all of the content they need to access from here. And then on the right of the home page, so on the home page, we're in the home page right now, you will see a few settings that only you as the instructor can see. You will see the publish, unpublish. You will see another few other settings that you can enable that shows up on this right-hand side. So that's just something to keep in mind. Now let me show you what a fully done built course is going to look like. And this is that fully built out course, right? I've already set up my course navigation. So this is that left-hand course navigation. Anything with an eyeball icon is going to be grayed out for my students. All of the content is going to be in the middle of here, and then some settings, and then again, that to-do panel is going to be right here on the right-hand side. So that's just something to get yourself acquainted with the way that Canvas courses are laid out. So going back to this area, first we're going to go into the course settings. So if you're familiar with eCampus, this is going to be that area under the course navigation that's called the control panel. So all those course tools and all that other area, everything's going to be included that would have been over there is going to be in this settings, right? So I'm going to click on settings. And under this course details tab, so the first tab that we see, we have a few settings that I kind of want to show to you that you would do the very beginning before you set up your course, and then you wouldn't have to worry about after the fact. Course image, so earlier we were talking about, so from this courses area, I'm going to go to dashboard. This the tile view, this course image, the way you update your course image is from this course details area, and then you choose the image. You can add an image that's particular to your course. We highly recommend to include an image that's education friendly, where you can put that kind of helps students remember what course is what, especially for that card view. Because if not, it's just going to have these colors, and that's not going to help me remember what course is what. That image will trigger my memory recall to remember what course is what as well. Such is something to keep in mind. We highly recommend that image. Other things we recommend taking a look at to change is going through all of these settings, just reviewing what settings you have available to you in your course. But ultimately, this more options area is a place that we recommend you review in the very beginning of the course, and then you won't have to review it after the fact. So just review all of these. If you have any questions about any of these, we kind of talk about them when they are relevant to the course as necessary. So other things you see is on the right-hand side here, we see those additional course settings that you have available to you. So you're sharing to Commons, student view. Student view is going to be that student preview user equivalent of eCampus in Canvas. So you can view how your course looks like in Canvas. Course statistics, that's going to be one of those key student retention reporting areas. Course calendar, concluding this course, that means you want to close this course after students importing course content, exporting course content, resetting course content, and then validating links and content. Other than that, you see a quick snapshot below here of the current users in your course, so you can see how many students you have, teachers, and then other roles as necessary. So that's going to be the course details area. The other area I want to highlight is the navigation. So by default in your course, you more than likely have some navigation that's already set up for you and enabled or disabled. But this is the place where you can go if you needed to enable, disable, or move things around. So you would go to this navigation area. On the top area of this page, you have the ability to see the things that are enabled, and then you have the ability to see things that are disabled below here. So I can click and drag, like I mentioned earlier, click and drag and rearrange these things. So for example, I don't want any of this to be shown in my course. I'm going to remove that, remove this, remove that. I'm just going to reorganize my course. I'm going to show you how quickly it is to reorganize everything. And I want Zoom and move Google Drive. Great, down here, modules, people. And I'm good with this. This is what I'm good with as my navigation. And like that, it was done. After I've done all this, I would click on save. And there you go. Now it updates my course navigation to how I see fit. So you just reorganize some things if you chose to do so. So let's say, for example, you wanted to enable Zoom in your course. That is the way you would do that to have easy access to it for your students. So that's going to be the course details. We went through the settings, course details, and navigation. So course settings, course navigation. At this time, what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to access a development course or a course, maybe even you already have access to your course shell, and modify, add a course image, find an image if you don't have an image, think about an image you would include, and then also try modifying the course navigation. So we're going to give a quick pause break, and then we'll be right back to end this training session. All right, welcome back. Thank you for taking the time to do that. If you have any questions within that, come to our office hours or email our service desk, and we're happy to answer your questions. So, ultimately, this is the end of the content of our training. We highly recommend, since you're already taking part of this session, to take part of our future sessions and offerings. We have preparing your course for Canvas, either the live version or a sync or on-demand version. Creating a course in Canvas is going to go into actually how to create modules and kind of start adding content to your course. And then creating assessments in Canvas is that session where we give a deep dive into actually creating 3 types of assessments: assignments, quizzes, and discussions. We highly recommend for you to take a look at these sessions. We talk a lot about this session as well. Those same trainings, and then this next one is growing with Canvas, so you can do a mix and match. We do have a recommended order of how you do this, so you can kind of build your course from the beginning to the end, and that you can access from our website, LMS.TAMU.EDU. And then ultimately, we highly recommend taking part of our self-paced asynchronous course. This asynchronous course will, like I said, by the end, help you learn Canvas. You'll learn everything you need to know about it to create your course, and it's available at any time, anywhere. So that's something to keep in mind. And then we have other resources out there for you: LMS.TAMU.EDU, the resource I showed earlier. Virtual office hours, take a look at our website to see if we're offering virtual office hours today, or the day that you're wanting to gain access to our office hours. Training, just like this one, we also will be posting a lot of these trainings on demand. YouTube channel, we're building out our YouTube channel as much as we can. To find us on YouTube, you will look for TAMU, Office for Academic Innovation, to see a list of our playlists and our videos that we have created for you. If you have an Instagram account, follow us on Instagram at TAMU_innovation, where we're adding bites and nuggets of information constantly. We even had a giveaway there very recently. So we recommend going into that and following us there. And then ultimately, last but not least, our awesome support desk help is here to help you whenever you need the help. By emailing us at any time, aihelp@tamu.edu, and then giving us a call at 979-458-3417, and we will try to answer your questions either through there or through our virtual office hours or at the end of this training session. So let us know how we can help you, but that is the end of this session. Have a nice day. Goodbye.